Hello and welcome to the oddschecker Inside Track, sponsored by BetMGM from a snowy Cheltenham Racecourse.
Yeah.
This wasn't forecast. I'm your host, George Elek. I'm delighted to be joined by Andy Holding, Steve Ryder and Matt Gibson from BetMGM. Matt, punters versus bookies yesterday. You guys came out on top.
Yeah, trying not to smile too much this morning. But no, we had a superb day. I think the punter half of me was obviously wishing for a different result in the main race, but
You'd have to say that.
But yeah, I think the bookies were on top yesterday, so we'll see where we go today.
Were the liabilities pretty big for the full fold?
Yeah, the 4-timer was fairly big on our book, and we managed to I think the two that most people were doubting were the easiest winners of the lot, right?
Exactly.
And then the rock solid ones the rock solid ones got beat, so. Yeah, I mean, we've got liabilities on the Ballyburnham, John Bonham double today, so punters aren't scared of going back in for the multiples at all.
And when Manchester didn't win the Arkle, were people going back in for the next double?
Yes.
Yeah.
Quite significantly. We'll go again, try and double it up and stuff like that. And then Lossiemouth wins really handsomely, right? So we're a little bit nervous when potentially the best racehorse we've ever seen gets to the start line, but yeah, come out on top. So see where we go today.
Great stuff. Any offers for the viewers at home today? Those maybe haven't got a BetMGM account yet. Yeah,
so new customers can bet 10 and get 40. Plenty of extra places throughout the day. Coracle and the cross country paying out some extra places. Really decent races for each way value. But no, bet 10 get 40 for new customers. And then if we have another good day today, maybe stand by your beds for any offers throughout the week.
For sure. It promised to be a great day's racing, Andy, and it delivered a lot of drama and a couple of winners for you in your column too.
Yeah, that's always nice. But just from a static point of view of the racing, it's why we come back, isn't it, year after year? The glorious uncertainty of racing was basically summarised yesterday. You know, everyone thinks, Constitution Hill's a good thing, this is a good thing, that's a good thing, this has only got to go down and come back. But what they've had to factor in his horses not, jumping and falling and making mistakes, and it happens, doesn't it? He won't be the first top-class horse to fall when seemingly everything's going well, and then obviously Stateman as well. It just, you couldn't believe what you were seeing. It was almost fictional, wasn't it? So, great atmosphere, and I think a day like yesterday kind of made us all think while we're in this game. The predictability of certain races and yet the unpredictability of others. It just had a bit of everything, didn't it?
And it might get lost in the kind of drama of the day, but you were very keen, Steve, yesterday on Lossiemouth, and she was breathtakingly impressive in the mares.
Yeah, she was fantastic. It's always what if.
Yeah.
As soon as she crossed the line, it's she should have gone for the champion hurdle, and then it's kind of doubled down as soon as what happened in the champion hurdle happened. But I don't know. Maybe it was a 3-year plan rather than a 2-year plan for Lossiemouth in the champion hurdle.
Yeah, all eyes on Punchestown next, where hopefully we'll see Lossiemouth, Stateman and Constitution Hill line up against each other. Right, let's get into the preview. Quickly, before we do, Andy, we've had to walk through a blizzard to get here this morning, unforecast. When we started recording, it was still forecast for another 40 minutes of snow.
Yep.
It was starting to settle. Does that kind of throw any, a bit of a curveball into the day?
I suppose it depends how much we get between now and the first race. I mean, it's only forecast up to a certain point. Obviously, when the temperatures rise, the snow should disperse. We might get a little bit of drizzle after that. Who knows? I think the track needed it because it was getting to the point where, this is going to get a little bit too quick for one or two others. I think it's going to help the horses, particularly on day 2 and day 3 and day 4. It'll also help the clock of the course not to water and irrigate, and perhaps, that husbandry sometimes can go a little bit askew. So I think it is needed from that point of view. But there's certain horses today, when the ground was edging back to them, your generous Toms and gorgeous Toms, etc., are coming into the equation because they want genuine good ground. Maybe that might not be so prevalent now.
Well, let's get into the preview. First up, we have the Turners Novice Hurdle, where Final Demand is a 6-4 favourite with BetMGM. The new line 15-8, the Yellow Clay 11-2, Potter's Charm 12-1, 20-1 6 Mile Bridge 33-1. Bar those. Steve, how do you see this?
I think all three should be a bit closer in the market, to be honest. I'd be against Final Demand. I know it's obviously snowing in the ground, all softened slightly, but I do just think he might get outpaced here. He looked like a stayer to me over 2 miles, 6.5 furlongs at the Dublin Racing Festival. The new line was impressive last time in a Challow. Obviously, you've had to overcome the stat, 0 from 21 winners of the Challow coming into this race.
Not many women like that, though, do they?
No, exactly. And it was on better ground. It wasn't a brutal race like it often is. So I do think he's got more speed than what Final Demand has. But I just think at the prices, you've got to back the yellow clay each way, to be honest. He's ran 4 times over hurdles, won all 4 of those, was an impressive winner of a Grade 1 last time. He has the experience of coming to Cheltenham last year in the bumper, albeit he finished a relatively well-beaten 6th. But neither Final Demand or the New Lion had been to Cheltenham. And I just think I can't see him out of the 3, to be honest. So 11-2, I'd be with.
Any concerns over how Gordon's horses ran yesterday?
Slightly, if you look back at it. Carla Conti emptied, Bryce Days Ahead emptied, Romeo Coolio ran okay, beating 7 lengths quite comprehensively at the finish. I think Dufflecoat probably would have placed in the National Hunt Chase if he wasn't brought down. But yeah, you'd have slight question marks around both him and Henry de Bromhead's after day one. But let's not get too carried away. Willie Mullins was needed to change his gallop a few years back before York Hill won the JLT. So yeah, let's not get too carried away just yet.
Andy, you've been very keen on the yellow clay each way for a while. How do you see this at this stage with the current prices?
Well, just to reiterate what happened yesterday and look back and look at the numbers. Obviously, you've done loads of podcasts with me throughout
my life.
Yeah, throughout your life, and particularly this season, you become accustomed to me talking about numbers of 71, 72.
Yeah.
And I've always said to you, isn't it, the ones that don't do the big numbers going into the festival, they have chances, obviously, to achieve that. But 9 times out of 10, they tend to get found out. You look at the race yesterday, we had Kopek de Boer top, Romeo Coolio second, and William Money third. In the 3 horses that done a championship time figure coming into the festival, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Django Bay, top of the figures, he won. Haiti Color, the best novice in the National Hunt Chase with his figure here, he won. They stand up, they stand the test. And if you come here not have done a number of any description, you're likely to get found out. You can win, but the likelihood is that you will get beat. And that's why I don't fancy the New Line in the first. He's under par. The 2 horses to concentrate on are Final Demand, who's a lot quicker than what Steve thinks. His time figure was exceptionally good at the DRF. He did actually quicken from 2 out and the last on the run, and he's an absolute giant. He's a beast. And this weather, I know it's only going to be marginal, but it's definitely tipped it back into his favour. He's going to become more of a test, and he's going to be very, very hard to shake off if he gets a sniff of the lead from 2 out.
I mean, as you said, we've done a lot of these shows together before, and you have said yourself that with the New Lion, it's hard for him to do a big number because he won it so easily. So surely there is a chance that there's more under the bonnet.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, it's not a horse I say can't win, but I'm more than happy and have been to trust the figures. And he might not be able to run quicker than what he's already done. That's the thing as well. It could be that case. And I agree with Steve. I mean, obviously, I put up, the yellow clay anti-post. He's here on the day. He's got a puncher's chance. Whether he can beat Final Demand, I wouldn't be absolutely sure. But he's won a Grade 3, Grade 2, and a Grade 1, the Lawlers and Ace, which is always a good trial. He's won them emphatically. And I think he's fairly bomb-proof from an each-way. I think there's a lot of nice each-way horses on the day. We'll touch upon those later on with some multiples, perhaps. But I think he kickstarts similar to Romeo Coolio, the each-way bandwagon. It's hard to see him not being in the frame, providing he runs his race. So I've got it between Final Demand and the yellow clay.
Any of the ones at bigger prices, Potter's Charm, 6 Mile Bridge, obviously their form lines tied together.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen some money for the New Lion this morning. I think.
Not Andy's.
Not Andy's. I think Skelton's been quite public in saying how good his horse is. I remember the interview before the Cello. He was like, "There's no reason why we can't win it."
Yeah.
He beat Regent Stroll that was talked up, and he was like, "I think we can go and win it." I think he only says that if he reckons he's got a proper weapon. So we've seen a little bit of money for the New Line this morning, but I've heard the yellow clay from quite a few people as an each way shout. So maybe that's a smart money. That's where Andy's money is. So we'll have a look at that one during the day.
I think the thing
a bookmaker putting up an each way steal.
I know, yeah. I think the thing with Gordon with the form, I think you need to give it another day. I think you need to let it breathe a bit. If the yellow clay is out the frame, runs poorly, etc., and there's a few others that underachieve, better days ahead, then maybe we start thinking, oh yeah, the odds not probably as trustworthy. But I wouldn't post any panic buttons just yet.
Okay, let's move on to the second race on the card, and Ballyburn is one of the big movers in the market of the festival. It was available around even money this time yesterday, now 8-13 with BetMGM. There you do have length in the odds as well with BetMGM, so you've got a 5-1 Ballyburn to win by 12 lengths or more, 8 lengths or more, 11-4. And Dancing City's win by 5 lengths or more, 12-1. Probably hoping for another dramatic faller there, I thought. Dancing City, 6-1 to win the race. Better Days Ahead, 9-1. Gorgeous Tom, 10-1. 16-1, bar those. Where's the money here, Matt?
Top of the market, top of the market only. Like I said, people are not put off by the multiples. Ballyburn, John Bon, a few people going Copacabana on the back of that for the bumper in the final race, but
can't be sticking the favourite in the bumper.
Ballyburn only in this race in all sorts of multiples. So we're kind of bracing for impact on that one a little bit.
Andy, Ballyburn now 8-13, surely becoming an unbackable price.
Yeah, I mean, the last video we shot yesterday, I was willing to not necessarily take on the favourites, but I was looking for each way or bets with that favourite to give the viewers something else to hang their hat on rather than tipping all the short ones. But I've said all along that I thought Ballyburn was a different class in this division. The data that we've got suggests he's a better jumper at speed than people think. I mean, he's got the 3 fastest time figures that we've got over fences so far this season, so he's got to be doing something right. He's a winner of a Grade 1 here last year. The further we went, the better he looked. The further we went, the better he looked to the DRF when he beat Impere Pass, Croke Park and Champ Cardi, 3, genuine Grade 1 horses. I thought he beat them pointless, and he was very strong at the finish. As they say, he hit the line really well. So, barring accidents, I think he's going to take a bit of beating. I think he was sort of 2-1, 7-4 in the build-up when we were saying he was still value, and now he's probably the price that we thought he might be a few weeks back. See what the weather does regards chances of others like Gorgeous Tom. I think had the rain-soaked sleet not come, I think he would have been high on the agenda as a possible danger. And Dancing City now, that's probably shifted his chances back a little bit because he's more of a stamina-based horse, or sort of slog through any kind of conditions that deteriorate.
Sounds like the snow is made way for rain. Judging by the...
Not bringing my cap today has definitely backfired on me.
Steve, how do you see this?
So all season, I've kind of wanted to be taken on Ballyburn in this. I just haven't been in love with his jumping technique. And I like a novice chaser to have improved from what they've done over hurdles, and I don't think he has done. But then you look at the final field and the makeup of it, and actually I don't think he needs to have improved from what he did over hurdles in order to win this. I was a big fan of Dancing City. This softening of the ground will help him. I think he's more of a Gold Cup horse for next season.
Yeah.
Because 3 mile, 2.5 furlongs on soft ground in a Gold Cup, I think will really, really suit him. We were out on the track yesterday. He's calm as anything. He's a gorgeous horse. I just slightly worry that Ballyburn will have too much speed for him.
Okay, Ballyburn all the way. It sounds like a solid one for those looking to place their each way, not each way, sorry, their win multis, Fabs multis today. On to the Coral Cup now. 6 places here, so each way plus BetMGM offering an extra place. Be aware, it's the 4-1 favourite for the Skeleton team. It feels like now these big field handicaps at Cheltenham over hurdles, and bookies running scared of the Skeletons. Imposed to us 6-1, Bunting 7-1, Comfort Zone 8-1, Beat the Bat 9-1, Jipka is 12-1, 14-1 bar those. Andy, 4-1 the favourite here is mighty short.
Yeah, I think if MGM Matt want me to do them a favour, I've got a terrible record in the Coral Cup. So all they've got to do to me is give me a little quick call about 5 minutes before the off and say, Andy, this is our biggest liability. Can you stick 100 quid on it for me? And I'll stop it for them.
Andy, that's one way to go about getting an account.
There you go. So, yeah, I'm waiting for a phone call about 5 minutes before the off. Yeah, I've just had a tragic run in this race. I like it because it always entices you in. It's a puzzle. It's difficult and what have you. But, yeah, it's fiendishly difficult. I certainly won't be back in Beware at that price, even though I respect his chances. Not necessarily sure he's guaranteed to stay, like everyone thinks. I think Impose twice, probably the pick of the ones down the front end. I like the way he hit the line at Newbury. He's a little bit behind the bridle horse. I think he just takes a little bit of a stoking. That's why the cheap piece has gone on. But Nicky's got a great record in this race. Dame de Company won it a few years ago. William Henry. I think he's won it another couple of times with some quality horses as well. He wins it with class horses. Spirit River, I think, was a few years ago before that. So it's a race he does really well in. So he's definitely short on this material. And the one I put up with my column is Sandor Clegane. The cream tends to rise to the top now in this race. You used to get anything winning it. But you're looking at horses 130, 135 upwards. He's 130, 140 odd. But you look at him, he's running a lot of grade 1s over fences, a lot of grade 1s over hurdles against, the likes of Home on the Lee and Rocky's Diamond and stuff like that. And he's always like 3rd or 4th on the fringes. this is his first handicap he's ever running. And Paul Allen's got a decent record here at the festival, and this horse has got a good record at the festival. He ran well in last year's Brown Advisory when he was fourth to Factor File. He was second or third, I think, in the year when Stay Away Fame won the Albert Bartlett. So he's got some previous here, and he's like 16 to 1. So I thought, yeah, he's one that at the prices I thought could certainly run okay. So those would be my two for what they're worth.
Sandor again 16 to 1. I've also backed Sandor again, Andy, so I'd rather you didn't mention your bad form. I'll just cash out now. Imposed to out to 13 to 2 as we speak. Matt there on the phone, just pushing out Imposed to
That's it.
Steve, you before we started rolling, you read out a list of trends in the Coral Cup that all point towards one horse.
Yeah, and that's Imposed to It's interesting. A lot of the time when you've been looking at these races for so long, you kind of get caught into what you've backed anti-post and think, right, I'm going to have to stick with them. I've had to have a completely fresh angle looking at the Coral Cup. So I was going through the trends last night and they all point towards Imposed to. So let me just read those out. 18 of the previous 24 winners had less than 9 runs over hurdles. He's had 8. 12 of the previous 15 winners had ran at Cheltenham previously. He's ran here once and has won once. 10 of those had recorded a top 4 finish. So that's a tick in that box. 12 of the previous 17 winners were aged 7 or younger. 10 of the previous 23 winners were French bred. 10 of the previous 16 winners were rated in the 140s. 4 of the previous 6 winners wore headgear and is in first-time cheap pieces today. And 4 of the previous 15 winners were trained by Nicky Henderson, as Andy said. So it's one of these that you're going...
now 7 to 2.
So I was going through the trends and he's literally ticking every box. I loved his reappearance run at Newbury. I thought he was staying on well at the finish. They've kept him fresh for this as well. If you go back through his form after over 100 days break, I think he's won both of his starts after a break. So they've kept him nice and fresh for this. And yeah, with BetMGM offering extra places on this race, 6 places, I cannot see him out of the frame.
Cannot see him out of the frame. 13 to 2 Imposed to. Matt, how do you see this?
We've actually seen quite a bit of money on Be Aware. It might be because of the Skelton's record in this race, kind of like ominous at the top of the market, isn't it? A big hurdle when you see those guys with a short price. Also seen some each way money for Maxim and Samui. Andy, if you put a line through them, or is that decent money with them with 6 places on offer?
Yeah, well, Samui beat Jazzy Matty last time out at Clonmel. Could do with the grain not coming for him though. He's very much if this hadn't come, he's a massive player. But just be a little concerned if it sort of eased up a little bit, that might blunt his chances.
I'll just ring the trader after this and shorten up Imposed to right away after all them stats. But yeah.
Samui 33 to 1 and Maxim 28 to 1, both for the Gordon Elliott stable. On then to the 320, it is the cross country, of course, now a handicap this time around. And Stumptown is the 9 to 4 favourite ahead of Galvin at 100 to 30. Bustleton 13 to 2, Vanillier 7 to 1, Mr. Coffee 7 to 1, Late Night Pass 11 to 1, 14 to 1 bar those. Do you see lots of action here? I mean, it's a race that obviously, you know, during Tiger Roll's heroic stint, I think the popularity of the race with punters presumably swelled, and has that continued into this year?
They like Stumptown, like the top of the market. I think there's a lot of people also coming for Mr. Coffee, like break his duck finally, please just win it, get over the line. Bustleton they like as well. I think Andy will be able to tell me how many cross countries Bustleton's been in, but a horse that's been here before and potentially knows the way around this track. Can't remember the name of the horse that got lost in November. He took a wrong turn.
Oh,
yeah, Meeble Nolan rode it.
He did. The French sounding horse.
Yeah.
I can't remember it. But surely, like, experiencing this race and having done it before goes in your favour here. Well, that's certainly what we're seeing with Stumptown being at the top of the market.
Yeah. Andy, you talking about each way multiples.
Yes.
There's one horse in here that I know are very keen stick in your horses.
He's the anchor, isn't he? Yeah, I've got a few today. The Elek obviously hopefully kick off that bet. I've got a nice each way treble today for the listeners. Definitely the Elek in the first. And Mr. Coffee, you've got to put him in all your each way multiples. He might not win. The likelihood is he won't win. He's a bit of a Mickey taker, 0 from 15 over fences, but he's actually taken well to these banks. I think they were going to retire him, weren't they? Because he's just been a little bit sort of out of sorts and not looking that great. I think he had a bad fall, didn't he? That kind of knocked his confidence. But spinned over here lovely in November, and then was given probably a little bit too much to do the next day behind Stumptown. Stumptown won quite easily that day. He wasn't apologising, but at the same time, Mr. Coffee was probably 15 lengths behind him coming down the intersection. He's done remarkably well to get it down to within a length and a half. So that should team up quite nicely. I think he's more than likely to hit the frame than not. So if you can back him either each way, was it
each way 5 places?
Each way, what price is he?
7-1.
7-1, yeah. Stick him in your multiples or just back in place only one way or the other. I think you'll definitely make a profit if you play him to finish in the first 5.
Great stuff. Yeah, Mr. Coffee 7-1 with those 5 places there. The each way steal for Andy in the cross country. Steve?
Yeah, Tommy Bow was the horse that we were talking around that ran out. I like Bustleton in this. The fact that this has come back to being a handicap, I think Stumptown is now kind of given the game away. He's gone up too much in the weights. I'd worry around the weight of Galvin as well in this. He's done previously quite well in this when it was a conditions race. And I just think Bustleton has been laid out for this.
We had a reminder yesterday how good Joseph is at laying one out for it.
Yeah, and he has properly laid this one out as well. He won the Kerry National as a 5-year-old. It was a remarkable performance. That was when the blinkers went back on. He's then had 2 spins around here in November and December, chucked out the back, got used to the course, no headgear on, and as a result was dropped down in the handicap. He's ran in the Boyne Hurdle last time, which surprisingly is a really good trial for this. Tiger Roll has done it previously. Delta Work has done it previously. Yeah. Bustleton, again, out the back. Nice little prep in the Boyne Hurdle prior to coming to the cross-country. Blinkers back on. Yeah. Better ground. I really like him each way with the extra places with BetMGM.
Yeah, Bustleton coming in as we speak, 13-2. And from that's exactly what Matt's
it is. I dread to think what Impost Toir now is for the Coral Cup.
Bustleton 13-2 with BetMGM. With that extra each way plus 5 places they are giving you for the cross country. Big race of the day, Queen Mother Champion Chase. John Bon is the 10-11 favourite here, ahead of Marine Nationale at 9-2. Anagamine 7-1, Solness 17-2, Founder 50, 11-1, 20-1 bar those. And Matt, I'm guessing this is a favourite that you want to get beat today.
It is. It's one of my absolute favourite horses. We sponsored this race. We sponsored the Clarence House in January. Yeah. I stood next to Nicky Henderson and presented him the award at Ascot, and I really hope I see you in March. And he was fairly confident of it. Liabilities wise for the book, yeah, we need to get beat. But yeah, I'm a huge.
You can't lose.
I think my boss will tell you differently, but yeah, the liabilities wise, this and Ballyburn are the ones that we've got kind of a little bit of risk on. But he's just a fabulous horse. I think everyone who's here, like yesterday with Constitution Hill and Lost Him Up, everyone just wants him to win. But yeah, it's such a brilliant race. We're super proud sponsors of it. Yeah. It's our first year sponsoring this race. I think the last horse to do the Clarence House Champion Chase double was Altior. John Bon's got a chance to do that in the same year. It's like you don't see these things very often. So if you can do it today, it'll just be magic. And to be fair, like to mark the occasion, we're giving away 250 grand to one of our customers after the Champion Chase. So as John Bon crosses the line, anyone who's been active with us for a £2 sports bet or more is in with a chance of winning a huge lottery prize. So doing things kind of a little bit differently, in terms of approach and stuff. But anyone who sort of plays with us and there's a ticker on site to sort of get active and get your bets in, will make someone really rich after John Bon hopefully crosses the line for the punters.
What a reason to sign up for BetMGM there. If you're an active punter, you've got a chance of winning a huge prize off the back of the BetMGM and Queen Mother Champion Chase. You mentioned there that John Bon will be a popular winner. I mean, it feels like after yesterday and what happened to Constitution Hill, for Nicky Henderson, Steve, it would be huge for John Bon to finally, at the Cheltenham Festival, get this win that I think he deserves. But also with Marine Nationale and connections to Michael O'Sullivan, it feels like there wouldn't be a dry eye in the house should he go and win. Yeah,
there should be a nice story coming out of this. I'd just be with John Bon at the prices, to be honest. I actually think he's going to shorten up quite drastically. If I'm being honest, won 17 of his 20 races. His 3 defeats have come at Cheltenham, but
do you buy into the...
No, I don't. No, yeah. No, I don't. No, he's the best horse in this race. I had put up Founder 50 at bigger prices throughout, but I think 11-1's probably skinny enough. You just need to forgive his last run, but he's rock solid. Other than that, finished second in an Arkle. But yeah, this is John Bon's to lose.
Andy?
Yeah, I think if you took a straw poll of who's most likely to do something stupid, John Bon or Constitution Hill, I think it'd probably be a massive swing in John Bon's favour to do something stupid, because a few times here he hasn't exactly...
he has looked much better this season though, hasn't he?
Yeah, I was going to say, the only times he hasn't covered himself with glory is round here for one reason or another.
And without Nico de Boinville on board.
Yeah, but on the flip side of that, he's also run some incredible figures here. Some of the best figures, if not the best figures we've ever got him doing, is here at Cheltenham. So I think it's a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy of those trying to take him on. They've just got those little kind of nuggets, grains of sand almost, not even nuggets, to kind of draw on if you are thinking of taking on John Bond. I'd love to see him win as well. I'm a mad fan. My mum absolutely adores John Bond.
She's here today, isn't she?
She's here today to come to see John Bond. She's in the box I'm talking to. Like, I cannot say anything negative about her.
Now's your chance.
She will disown me, yeah. Toby on the back now. No, but I love him as well. I love to see him win. Personally, I've stepped away from the sentimentality and back to Marine Nationale anti-post, thinking there might be only 5 or 6 runners on the day, and you have a free bet with 3 places, but unfortunately there's the 8. Great for racing though that there is 8.
Not great for bookies, I don't think.
No, they prefer a non-runner. There's always a chance. There's always a chance that something will come out. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Marine Nationale probably could do without the rain, in all honesty, because he sometimes isn't quite the hardest of finishers. But he ran well at the DRF beyond Solness. He was 20 lengths behind down the back, and he's got to within 2 lengths at the finish. I think he was trying to follow Gaelic Warrior. On that occasion, and I think that's why he got caught out, and he realised, Gaelic Warrior's a busted flush, I better get after Solness. I don't think that happened today, so I'd imagine he'll turn the form around. Whether he's good enough to beat John Bond, I don't know, but he should be in the frame. He's a Grade 1 winner here, similar to John Bond didn't win the Supreme, and he did. So I think
he finished well that day as well.
He did, he did. I think Marine Nationale's another one you could look to put in some each-way multiples.
Look like an Ergamine.
The ground is very much now swing back in his favour. I think he's a million on good ground, but if it was soft, good to soft or soft, I don't know how much this is going to continue, but it's bouncing off the roof here at the moment. Yeah. Then he kind of almost becoming the forgotten horse. Like I said, there's a lot of the pendulums are swinging very much to good ground horses, and then they come to a point where they become crazy price.
Yeah.
So on that point of view, he could be a little bit of value at his current price.
And they're being 7-1. Marine Nationale 9-2. 2 more races on the cards. We have the Grand Annual next up, where Unexpected Party is the 11-2 favourite ahead of Jazzy Matty at 13-2. My Mate Mozzie 7-1. JPR 1 17-2. So Scottish 11-1. American Mike 12-1. 12-1. A few others as well in here in a decent field. 5 places each way plus with BetMGM here. Where's the money coming?
A little bit for Jazzy Matty. But other than that, this is a really hard race, isn't it? It's a bit of a sort of throw a dart at the racing post and see where you land.
That's not advice.
No, not particularly. But a little bit for Jazzy Matty. But I think punters are really careful. I think if people want to get on, I think they'll leave it late and see where the money's going and where the sort of the market movers. I think this is one of the toughest races of the week to call, lads. But 5 places, you've got every chance in quite a competitive field. Andy?
Yeah, similar to Mal, I'm not overly struck on anything in this race. I've basically put something up in my column because you look at what race you've got to choose from on a daily basis. I think, God, I've only got real 2 standouts here. I've already put the Elek up. I can't put Ballyburn up at odds on. I don't want to be tipping to John Bond. I can't put anything up in the cross country because I've got no time figures to go on. So I'm only left with like 2 or 3 races to choose on. I've got to put something up. Otherwise, I'm sticking up 2 horses on a column on the at the Cheltenham Festival.
At least you're honest, Andy.
Exactly.
You wouldn't win this, would you? To be honest.
So, I like to give people the vibe and exactly where I'm coming from. So I've gone with a horse that I think, because I followed him through the season, he's capable of winning this race if he's at his best. He wasn't at his best last time out because he was coughing. I didn't realise at the time that was an answer to why he ran so badly. The horse is Midnight It Is, who I've had him in mind for a little while now. And I think Gavin Cromwell Connections have had this race on their mind for a little while. He absolutely lagged in first time out at Navan, and he clocked a massive time. I thought, God, this is a good horse. He beat a horse called Folly Master, then went to Ferry House a couple of weeks after and bolted up. There's been several others that have come out of that race from Frank Laforme. He should have won the Dan Moore. He had a bit of a mid-race malaise down the back. He won a little bit slowly, and I think Sean Flanagan kind of half gave up on him a little bit, and then he took off turning for home. He got within a couple of lengths of Sabre Companions, King of PRS and Pathori. I think he's better than those 2. And if he can jump, and he does jump well when he's lets fly, I think he's good enough to win a race like this. And Sean Flanagan is the key to him. He's got a brilliant record on him. That's taking nothing away from Connoisseur Rules.
Yeah.
who probably wasn't riding the proper model last time out. But I really like his chances. And I think he's what?
18 to 1.
Wow. 18 to 1. That is too big. Jazzy Matty would be my other one. They had a nice little spin around Clonmel the other day. Had a sighter here at the November meeting. And I'm not overly struck on Unexpected Party because I just don't see horses winning back to back.
Yeah.
Can't remember. I don't think there's ever been a horse that's won this race 2 years in a row.
Right.
2 years in a row. If anyone could do it, it'd be Dan Skelton because he did it with Langadan in the Coral Cup last year.
Yeah.
But yeah, wouldn't be so keen on him.
Steve?
I like Unexpected Party.
Oh, right.
And purely for the fact that the Skeltons are geniuses in these handicaps. The handicappers played the game with him as well. He won this by 2.25 lengths of a mark of 138. He's now only £6 higher. I think he's been dropped £5 this year with some runs to pick up prize money, I think we'll describe them as. We touched on it a few times around the ground. He is versatile ground-wise. He won't care what actually happens in it. And this has definitely been the race with a big circle around it since the start of the season. And yeah, I'd back him each way. I can't see him out the front.
11-2 each way, 5 places there for Steve. And finally, the last race on the card on the Wednesdays, of course, the Champion Bumper. Copacabana is the 11-4 favourite ahead of Game of Inches at 9-2. Bambino Fever also 9-2. Calypso Chance 5-1, 14-1. No Drama this ends. Aquaforce 14-1, 16-1 bar those. Andy, your speed figures always pretty enlightening when it comes to the Champion Bumper, given they've all had one or two runs, and it's hard. You know, you can see visually the ones that look impressive, but they don't often do good times. Who's the standout here?
Well, this is the one that's the hardest to be the most dogmatic about regards times. It's fairly self-explanatory. As you've just said, horses have just had one run. So, getting numbers and a collective back catalogue of data is extremely difficult to assess. You think, he's only run of this, but
I'm entitled to improve as well.
It's not his fault that he ran that because the race only allowed him to run that.
Yeah.
So all we can go on is the facts of what they've run, but some of the races do give you a slightly better guide than others. The one that Copacabana run was the slowest time figure that we've got at the entire field. He's actually bottom of the sheet. I don't think we've ever seen this happen. If he wins, then you'd be thinking, oh my God, he's improved out of all recognition.
Yeah.
He'd be
the punters like him, Andy.
He'd be,
if you're doing the treble, they've obviously got John Bon, Ballyburn as the short one, but for
do the punters like him just because he's sitting at the top of the market? Right?
Most probably. I think he's been talked up quite a lot in these sort of things in the media, but Andy's time figures are kind of shaming him a little bit.
He'd be my lay of the day at the prices. Because based on the historic record that we've got with horses coming into the festival with poor time figures. It's a joke price, 5-2. It really
11-4.
11-4, whatever. I mean, you can't get your breath with that price. You really can't.
Yeah.
The two on the flip side of that have run good numbers visually on the eye. They've passed the eye test. They're running the right races and they look as though they can improve. Bambino Fever, I really like her. She beat a good crop of fillies when she won at the DRF. Fast time, strong gallop. Horses finished strong out. She was the only one who hit the line strong. Switch from Diesel, who finished second, bolted up at Navan the other day. The form is incredibly good. I like Janie Townend as well. She's got a great record in bumpers. She's won, I think it's 57 bumper winners or something like that. She gets them settled. She's a little bit of a madam, a little bit flighty, so I'm glad she's on just to put her to sleep, but she'll come on strong. And I think Game of Inches is a big player. We had the privilege of going down the gallop with Willie Mullins the other day, and we saw the horses. We didn't know what they were. We were playing the sort of game of guessing who's that. And Steve actually beat me. I think it was like 2 or 3. 3-1. It was 3-1. Yeah, I was trying to give myself an extra one, but I didn't.
that was the same as winning the penalties last night, wasn't it?
I know, exactly. How ironic. How ironic. But I actually got Game of Inches just purely because of his size and stature. He looked a big horse on screen. And I thought, that's a Game of Inches. I asked the lad or lass, whoever it was, it said, yeah, it's Game of Inches. He did get a little bit warm, and then we spoke to Willie Mullins afterwards, and he said he's a bit hot. He said if he takes the prelims okay, and he goes out the start fine, then he'll run his race. And if he does run his race, there won't be anything more stronger and prepossessing as him in the race. And rain will definitely suit him more than others. So I've got it between those two Mullins horses, and I'd be against Copacabana. But out of the two, Bambino Fever is probably the most likely to run her race because she's already done it in a championship environment.
Music to your ears, that, isn't it? Favourites below the day?
Oh, incredible.
You can watch John Bond go in, you watch Ballyburn go in, and it's fine. Andy said Ballyburn. Andy said that Ballyburn cannot win.
You've got loads of good horses running for you.
Yeah.
The huge 3-timer that Andy says can't win. So I'll just tell everyone to relax. Tell traders to stand down.
Go home, lads.
Everything will be fine.
Yeah. Steve, how do you see this?
Yeah, just further on from Andy's point, Jody Town had 47 winners from 172 rides.
Wow.
Since 200.
That is
since 2018.
unbelievable.
Brilliant. So definitely do not have that as a negative. The fact that she is riding. Mares also haven't got a bad record in this. Fiona and Relegate won this back-to-back 2017, 2018. Not many have tried since. So, yeah, I wouldn't have the fact that she's a mare as a negative either. She's been impressive, as Andy said, on the flock, and form's working out well. So, Bambino Fever to me as well.
Bambino Fever 9-2. There we go, guys. Brilliant preview day 2 of the Cheltenham Festival. Matt, before we go, just repeat the welcome offer for anyone who hasn't got a BetMGM account.
Yeah, for new customers, bet 10, get 40. A lot of which can be used throughout today and a little bit on the football tonight. And then, of course, the huge 250k draw after John Bond crosses the line in first position. We're doing the same thing after the Gold Cup on Friday, as it happens. So we're giving away 500 quid. Sorry, not 500 quid, 500k. The big difference. Yeah. 500k during the week across our feature race, and then the big one on Friday. So quite a few reasons to come and play with us this week.
Brilliant. Look forward to seeing you handing over the trophy in the BetMGM Queen Mother Champion Chase.
Go on.
Any chance of getting Chris Rock over? Has he been tempted to come over?
I was told he was going to be here this morning.
Oh, sorry. Sorry to disappoint.
No, that's right. I said I'd prefer you. That's anyway.
Not here. I mean, actually at the festival. No,
no, I don't think he's. I don't think he's here. He was in a voice recorder booth. That's about as near as we could get. So we've got him saying how much money we're giving away and welcome to fabulous Cheltenham and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But he's very comfortable in New York rather than snowy Cheltenham, I think.
I can imagine.
Could be him presenting the award of the Champion Chase next year.
Yeah, that's it. There you go.
Well, stand by your beds for that one.
Oh, yeah. There we have it. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this preview. The guys will be back again tomorrow at a similar time on course to preview day 3 of the Cheltenham Festival. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Thank you very much to all of you for sharing your tips, thoughts and insight. Make sure you check out BetMGM for their offers and throughout the festival. Plenty up there, extra prices, good extra places, good prices and everything else. And oddschecker, of course, have you covered throughout the festival too. So check out both. We'll see you again tomorrow. Enjoy the racing. Promises to be a great day. Hopefully it stops raining soon. And please ensure that you're gambling responsibly.